Hi, my name is Cheryl, and I'm a nurse, and I'm a patient of Dr. Joseph Berenholz of Farmington Hills, Michigan. And I'm going to talk to you about menopause, and I'm going to give a very frank discussion about my journey with the problems with menopause and the resulting treatment and therapies that have helped me. So I thought this would be a very informative format to use. But I'm 61 years old, and I live in Michigan with my husband of 35 years. When I was 39, I had a hysterectomy and removal of one ovary for treatment of severe endometriosis. By the age of 43, I had started my menopause. And initially, the symptoms weren't too bad. I had dryness of the vaginal area, and with the use of lubricants, that seemed to help at that time. But by my 50s, in particular my mid-50s, it was extremely almost impossible to have intercourse. The dryness was so bad, and as you get older, with the thinning vaginal wall area and the other changes that complete menopause, there were resulting tearing and bleeding, and sometimes quite a bit of bleeding with clots, painful with intercourse. It really put a damper on intimacy and libido, to say the least. So there was a period of time, probably, I'd say 2 to 2.5 years, where intimacy was with my husband of 35 years did not include intercourse because it was just too painful. And I'm here to say that I'm not really the only woman that's gone through these kind of things. I've talked with a few of my friends and women in my age group that don't have intercourse with their husbands for some of the same reasons. I was very frustrated, and it saddened me that intercourse was going to be missing for the remainder of my life, because I think that's a real important part of intimacy. However, I sought out some help with my yearly gynecologist, who offered really nothing more than some hormone vaginal cream, and I used it for years, and it didn't help at all. So I had to do my own research, and basically what I found out about 9 to 10 months ago, in September 2015, I was watching an episode of The Doctors, and I love The Doctor Show. They gave such valuable information and talks about these taboo kind of subjects, which is helpful. And that there was this new procedure called ThermiVa, ThermiVa, using radio frequency technology. Previously, I had been looking at the FemiLift and the Mona Lisa, but they involved laser technology, and there was some downtime to it. There was some significant risk using lasers. Biggest ones being burns, scarring, adhesions. There's downtime with that, and sometimes it necessitates use of anesthesia. But as I did my research, when I heard about ThermiVa RF, the temperatures do not get as high to burn tissues. It's done in the gynecologist's office. No anesthetics needed. It feels like more like a spa treatment, really. But you still get the same results, such as tightening of the vaginal area, increased lubrication due to the resulting production of collagen from the radio frequency treatments. They also perk up the clitoris and G-spots because that also ages, and so it's helpful in that area also. Urinary stress incontinence, which a lot of postmenopausal women have an issue with that, and also in women, younger women, even that have had vaginal births, can have issues with urinary stress incontinence. I had been wearing pads every day, and because if I coughed or sneezed, I had leakage. And that was another plus that ThermiVa could help or resolve. So after seeing the spot on the doctors, I looked up the ThermiVa website, and I found Dr. Berenholz as the only provider in the state of Michigan with this technology. What a wonderful, compassionate, and kind man. I cannot tell you enough about him. He's was blessed to have found him. I understand that this new technology is making its way from California to the Midwest. And this treatment consists of a 30-minute visit to Dr. Berenholz office. He uses a thin wand that pulses the RF waves intravaginally and also to externally to treat the external genitalia and labias. Since my issues were more internal, I asked Dr. Berenholz to focus the entire 30-minute session on my intravaginal area. Well, the first treatment I had was in October 2015, and I immediately had lubrication that very same day. And since there was no downtime or restrictions with this, you could have intercourse immediately afterwards. So I was curious, and for the first time in years, I had intercourse without pain. Now that was just like a miracle to me. Are you kidding me? I've been suffering for so long, for at least 12 years or more, with pain, with intercourse. It was just ridiculous. Just don't know what other words I could express this, but I didn't even know that this was even possible to get that part of my life back. So, as you know, you may be thinking, well, there's always been lubricants like you could use, and initially they did work for me, but as the symptomology increased and the damage increased, the lubricant would wear off real quick, very quick, almost immediately, and I was having the pain, the tearing, the bleeding again. So it just wasn't a fix for me anymore. So I was beyond pleased. I wish I could express that more, and I hope this comes across, but that was the initial response, was that immediate lubrication that had been missing for more than 12 years. And I didn't have the bleeding or the tearing or feeling like shards of glass was going through me, penetrating me with intercourse. It was all absolutely fabulous. And it gave me back that part of my life that had been missing. And so I had these 3 treatments. 1 treatment per month for 3 months. The cost is out of pocket because insurance doesn't pay for it at all. But the cost, I'm telling you, there is no price I wouldn't have paid to have these results and that part of my life back. So I went for my second visit and had even more enhanced results. If that was even possible, I had even more enhanced results. More lubrication, the urinary stress and incontinence, which I noticed was improving, particularly after the second treatment. And that wasn't even what I was going for. But by my third treatment, I no longer needed to wear pads. Now I can cough, sneeze, have the worst cold in the world, and I'm not going to leak. And that's another fabulous thing in my life. Besides, after each treatment that I had, the lubrication kept getting better and better, and the quality of orgasms improved. And as a matter of fact, now I'm going to get quite graphic, I've never had vaginal orgasms before. I know that they existed, but I didn't know what that was, so my only orgasms were from clitoral stimulation. So I started having these vaginal orgasms with an ejaculate, I would call it. It's like a spray or a gush of fluid, with this type of orgasm. I've never had anything like that even remotely before, and it took me months to figure this out. Then finally I got the nerve up to ask Dr. Berenholz indirectly, and he said that ThermiVa can result in vaginal orgasms because he goes over the G-spot with the ThermiVa wand, and that stimulates the collagen in that area to make that part youthful again. But even in my youth, I never had vaginal orgasm, so it made it better than what I was born with, apparently. So that, anyway, that's all a plus in my book. 2 orgasms, and at my age, I'm still learning about these things. I couldn't be happier, and it's just all wonderful. My husband and I are like honeymooners, so to go from celibate to newlyweds, it's like a miracle again. I think every woman needs to know about this and that there is technology out there to improve the quality of your life and relationships. Also, that part of your health, and as far as I'm concerned, my gynecological, urological health is just as important as the rest of my body. I'm very physically active. I go to the gym every day, and I swim competitively on 2 swim teams. From my husband's perspective, he has said that he's noticed immediately the increased lubrication and tightness. And when I asked him if it was like when we were dating, I was 26 years old back then, he said it was so much better. Imagine my surprise. I mean, really? Better than a 26-year-old at my age? He said he never remembered me ever being this lubricated and tight. His exact words were, "I'm like a tight faucet down there." So I'm impressed. I wanted to share these words with my fellow menopausal women, and also it should be shared with all women in your life. Even my nieces, they're in their 30s, and my daughter-in-laws, they need to know about the ravages of menopause and that there is technology and help for them. We're doing a great disservice not informing all the female women in our lives, and that ThermiVa can change the damages of menopause. It makes their life with the quality, with their intimacies that we all want. So I thank you for listening to me, and I hope I got my message across. And I want to thank you, and God bless you, Dr. Joseph Berenholz and Melissa, for everything you've done for myself and my husband. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.